And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trade routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning, traders, and welcome to the market forecast for Wednesday, April the 20th. Yes, it's 4:20. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Always a pleasure to be here with you. Hopefully, we're going to find some accurate context, some good ways to manage risk, and always remember in patience. If you're in the markets already, hopefully things are heading your way. Thanks for the comments and the good mornings, everyone. First thing this morning that came out was the 30-year mortgage rate, now 5.2%. We're still waiting for existing home sales due out at 9 o'clock a.m. this morning, Central Time, 9:30 Central Time, the EIA Petroleum Status Report. We do have three talking Feds speaking throughout the day today. We also have the Beige Book at 1 o'clock Central. Now, there's not going to be a lot of reaction to the Beige Book. Whenever I see that Beige Book come up, I know that it's 2 weeks to the FOMC meeting. That's going to keep a lot of our talking Feds quiet for the next couple of weeks as we wait for the next rate hike, whatever that's going to be. Stocks are set to open higher, awaiting home sales this morning. Some bad news from Netflix yesterday. They took a hit of losing about 200,000 subscriptions in the first quarter, and they're expecting a much worse quarter two, perhaps even 10 times that bad as far as losing subscriptions. So we'll be keeping an eye on Netflix, of course. Pressure now on Tesla earnings this afternoon. In question is the Shanghai lockdowns, which had kept its plant closed for 3 weeks. It reopened yesterday. As far as other earnings this morning, we're looking for Procter & Gamble, Abbott Labs, and after the close today, first thing we'll be talking about on the recap will be those Tesla earnings and BHP. Really just getting into the teeth of earnings season. Lots more earnings due out in the coming days and a couple weeks. Crude's been range-bound this morning after the API had a surprise drop of 4.5 million barrels. They were looking for a boost of 2.5, which is approximately what the estimates are for the EIA Petroleum Status Report due out at 9:30 this morning. So a little conflicting information. You see this in the charts shortly. It may be one of those days where we need to hurry up and wait as far as crude oil trading is concerned. Right. As far as the VIX, the dollar index, and the 10-year yield, VIX down about 5% this morning, just over 20 at 20.31 last I checked. The dollar index off a little bit this morning at 100.49, and the yield on the 10-year down a little bit this morning as well at 2.88%. As always, got to say good morning to everybody. Reminder, today is Wednesday. It is Group Coaching Day. I've already put the link in for group coaching, and there's the link again. 1 o'clock today. We're gonna bring your questions, bring your thoughts, bring your ideas. Nobody knows everybody. Nobody knows everything. I certainly don't. Something we don't know, we're going to learn together. I always enjoy that about those sessions. So please join me for group coaching today, again, 1 p.m. Central. Good morning, everybody. Tachyon, first in the room, winning the prize. Theo, good morning, Shaw. Manuel Caesar, James Harris, Scott saw, and he conquered. Denise, it's good to see you again. My brother Rick is rocking out this morning to some Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yes, definitely one of the best, getting your blood flowing early, I see. Brother Rick, I love you. Brian, Marcelo, good morning to you. Brody, Isaac, chilling with Dylan, good morning. Luis, Zachary Sykes, Nico, Vince, good morning. George, my brother Tom, good day to you as well. I love you. Vince, it's a great day to sip one of America's favorite commodities. Is that bourbon? I've got some too, in a cup from one of England's greatest bands, The Who. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee now. Everybody, take a sip of coffee. Good morning, Jackalo. Tachyon, 870 in profits so far. Willing to test one trade after the market open if there would be any trades for my strategy. Caught the big move early, but let it go too early. Need more patience sometimes. It's hard to stay in those winning trades, especially as we come into the open. It looks like we're opening with a little bit of a gap, maybe pulling back towards closing the gap. We have basically some late spikes. We're going to see that in the charts shortly here in Tachyon. Maybe we can help you find that next good trade here in the regular trading hours. Bill, good morning. Dan, good morning. Jerry is awake, and hopefully John is too. Expediter Dean, Glimmer Sandwich, Dan Trader, good morning to you. Expediter Dean, we got Hogue or Best or Beat? Beat. I don't know. Laura, good morning, Expediter Dean. I'm doing okay, Dan. Thank you very much. It was at my age, I get an unexplained pain once in a while, and it kept me up all night Sunday night, so I did not sleep well, so I didn't do anything. I had to rest up on Monday. Slept great last night. I'm feeling real good this morning. Thank you for letting me know that. Thank you for asking. Devont Zerain J, Trading Research, Shaw, Netflix keeps increasing prices. No surprises. There you go. Rusty Golfer, that's my name. Dead Letter Opener, Nicholas Alber, Zachary, good morning. Sarah, I'll find prayer and love to you also, Sarah. Stephen, Vince, LOL, you guys are laughing at my bourbon. Yes, take a sip of bourbon. So good, that Java. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's one of the things that lets us know that God loves us. That and bourbon. Two reasons we know God loves us and wants us to be happy. Joe, good morning. Dan, European session comes through with the bid again. Classic. I don't know if it was you or JD. Oh, Frederico, good morning. All right, so trading this morning on Zoom? No, that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, we do group coaching at 1 o'clock. The Make Hold Money is something we're just starting. We're just testing out to see if you like it. If you do, let us know. If there's things that we can improve on, please let us know. Because I'm perfectly willing to expand the time and the number of times and the dates and however we deem it best for everybody involved. So let us know, Robert, what your thoughts are. You know, it's something I think is good a couple of times a week. If we need it more, we want it more, we can do it more. We can do it during different parts of the day. We can add different products. There's lots of different things we can do with it. Yes, I would call yesterday a P shape, and I am calling that a late buying spike. We're going to see that in the charts here in about 2 minutes, Devont. Let's get started with that. All right, let me get set up. And let's jump in, starting with the daily in the S&Ps. All right. So there was a loss in open interest yesterday. And yes, we ended up with a P-shaped profile. So the loss in open interest of approximately 12,000 contracts yesterday in the E-mini S&Ps indicates potential short covering. It also kind of makes the upside move that we accomplished yesterday somewhat hollow. It doesn't mean that the market can't continue to the upside. We were looking at this area of balance yesterday. We attempted to break out of it yesterday, but we were unsuccessful. Where we're about to open looks like we're a little bit more successful in continuing this upside auction. Is there a potential medium time frame market state change? I was hearing and seeing a lot of speculation that folks are looking at this as a bull flag, and when we open this morning, it would be a break of that bull flag, which could lead us to higher pricing. We're looking at now 44.67 as the balance extreme, the high from yesterday and the high from Wednesday of last week. We need new business in order to extend this move higher. If we can push this market higher and we increase open interest, that's going to be much more confident that we've brought in new business. New buyers are back interested in buying the S&Ps. So this is somewhat of a pivotal day for us, and the way this day trades out is going to be, I think, a little bit indicative of the market for the next few sessions. But again, we need new business. When we look at range-bound activity, we fade the extremes of the range until proven wrong. Are we going to prove the range-bound wrong, which means we have to go with an extended or an accepted breakout outside of that level? So again, now looking at 44.67 as the upper extreme, because we traded basically right to Wednesday's high. Range bound, are we breaking out is really the question. Now we're getting a little bit of information here from our overnight session. Here's our P-shaped profile indicating short covering, which is supported by the loss in open interest. We are looking for the market to open with a gap and not to close the gap, because we do have what we're calling a late spike. The market did extend the range and close above the range extension. So I'm calling the base of the late spike right here. If you can see it over here, the high from this bar right here, the base of the late spike is 44.46. No. 44.51.75, the previous high for the session before the market extended late in the day. So the base of the late spike, if it does even come into play today, is again 44.51.75. Here we are, the high from yesterday, even with the high from last Wednesday, we're going to be opening outside of that area of balance. If we find buyers up here, we could certainly see our overnight inventory, which is to the long side, continue to get paid. If we close the gap, if we start to look for price in a lower area here, the afternoon pullback low. Now, this is something that's relatively maybe new to many of you watching the market forecast, even to the market forecast. The afternoon pullback low is when the market put in its high early in the session, came back and traded down to this level. Now, the afternoon pullback low is 44.33. Look at our overnight low, 44.32.75. One tick down below that afternoon pullback low. Market would not continue below that afternoon pullback low. And if the market does come back into range and value, the afternoon pullback low can be an important level for us to keep an eye on, for us to look at. We also know that we have the possibility of opening with a gap, coming back inside value from yesterday, and accepting inside value from yesterday puts forth the value area special situation play, which upon acceptance of value from yesterday, a higher probability of price moving back to the low of value from yesterday at some point in that session. If there's some sort of an event that pushes market down to the afternoon pullback low and rejects back above value high, I think that's going to be a very friendly opportunity for us. Now, are we expecting the existing home sales to be something that's going to be that powerful? And again, that's at 9 o'clock Central after the regular trading hour open of the S&Ps. Unlikely. Unlikely. As far as our whole moving averages are concerned, they're holding higher. They are now also holding above price. So this is going to be a very interesting open. The open above an area of balance we've been in for a few days, above the range from yesterday. This may be an opportunity for us to look for an early trade location. In other words, watching the opening range might be something that would be beneficial. A caveat to that is the opening range in the S&P has been vicious, very difficult to trade, and has probably created more losses than profits in recent history. So try and keep that in mind. I know that doesn't help you make that decision, but watching confidence right in that first minute of trade might be an interesting opportunity for us. So we're opening with a gap. Again, our late spike base 44.51.75. We know the high from yesterday is going to be an important level because that's really the extreme of the area of balance that we are attempting to break out of. It's going to be an interesting trading day. We're already into the open here in crude oil. Let's take a look. Now, I've adjusted these. Okay. If you remember, this one was here, and this one was to the across the top of this high. All we've really done is we seem to have extended. We seem to have extended our pennant formation. We're back inside of it, and it fits. We got 1, 2 points of contact, 1, 2 points, 3 points of contact, and we're back right in the middle of it. We rejected yesterday's attempt to continue above weekly kickoff high of $106. Settlement was 102.05. So I think our market state, while we were looking for an extension of this market state higher, has proven that's not going to happen, at least not so far. Could happen anytime. As we all know, anything can happen. But the market is kind of falling back into a range-bound, coiling, energy-building, if you'll pardon the pun, market state. Today is expiration for the May contract. The open interest, we lost 15,000 overall yesterday, but 22,000 we lost in May alone. So the net for the total open interest yesterday outside of the May contract was an additional 7,000 contracts. Does that mean that this push to the downside here has a little more teeth to it than just a kind of a hollow break or a long liquidation break? It might. Again, it's very blurry because of rollover. Here's the 30. Okay, here's that break. Here's the B shape indicating potential long liquidation. But again, remember, aside from the front month, we added open interest to the short side. 106, we did close above it yesterday. We rejected it yesterday. We did close above it the day before, I should say. We've rejected it now. So now what are we looking at? Well, we're opening in range, probably inside value, probably not the best opportunity for us to be looking for early trades because, again, we're in range and in value. Very little change in the perception of value for the crude oil. We know that we have the EIA petroleum status report due out at 9:30 Central this morning. We're looking for a 2.4 million barrel boost in inventories, where yesterday, as we know, there was a 4.5 million barrel surprise draw announced by the API. Let's take a look at the first minute here to see if there was any opportunity. Maybe it's a little bit smaller today. Nope. 36 tick opening range. It has taken out the look above first. But, think about where we are with respect to the range from yesterday. I'm probably going to be expecting better trade locations as the day goes on. I mean, does it look like there's a whole lot of confidence in where we're hanging here for the last 4 minutes? We're just kind of spanning the upper end of there. See, there you go. Now we're getting a pullback. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of upside confidence here in very short time frame. Okay, Nasdaq, same but different. We had the open interest loss of 1,000 contracts, loss on a P-shaped profile, so short covering indicated potentially by that, but not a big amount. Are we looking at market state change here as well? Again, a lot of speculation in the equities that we've changed from a potential bull flag to a continuation outside of that bull flag. A lot of speculation of that. The balance extreme, pretty much our high here. I'm looking at the balance extreme at 14,296 quarter, 14,296 quarter. That's the high here. That's the high here, 14,298. So we've looked above it, but it seems as though we're struggling a little bit more in the Nasdaq than we are in the S&Ps to try and break out above this area of balance. Volume's been okay. It's been largely maintaining. It was a little bit higher yesterday. We need, again, very similar to the S&Ps, but different. We need new business to continue this move outside of this area of balance and to break this downside market state. Here's the 30-minute chart. So, overnight longs. P-shaped profile yesterday. I got to shorten this up. P-shaped profile yesterday. You know what? I'm just going to take this out. This has already been reconciled. So let's just remove that. We don't want anything disturbing our vision here. So P-shaped profile yesterday. Short covering. Loss of 1,000 in open interest. Here's last week's high. That's really where our balance breaks. We're up against it. This offers opportunity for us. If we can get the chance to trade against last week's high / this week's high so far, we might find some opportunities to find some profits there. At the very least, be able to limit risk. It's a visual level. It's an important level. We've got weekly kickoff high just above there and a naked point of control at 14,400. Is that the vision we're looking for? We open, can't close the gap. This would be a cinch for us to reach today. If we open, close the gap, reaccept inside of value from yesterday, we may see a value area special situation play. However, we do have a late spike. The base of the late spike here in the Nasdaq is 14,196.50. 14,196.50. We also have the afternoon pullback low of 14,102 quarter right here. This looks like much more of a potential value area special situation play / test of weekly pullback low than in the S&Ps. If you remember in the S&Ps, the afternoon pullback low was much higher up in the value area from yesterday. Getting a nice little pullback here. Again, watch the open. Not going to be trading the opening range here in the Nasdaq or in the S&Ps because it has been a train wreck lately. What that tells me is a lot of traders are trying to trade that opening range trade, and the more traders that do it, the less likely it is probable to succeed. Knowing that, we're going to wait. We're going to wait until all those other short time frame fear-based emotional traders abandon that opportunity, and then it will start to be a much more probable opportunity for us. Haven't seen that happen yet, but we'll be monitoring for that. How about gold? What is gold going to do? Well, another B-shaped profile, long liquidation yesterday on higher volume, losing 4,000 in open interest. Taking price basically right back down towards, but not closing below that weekly kickoff low of 1952. Open interest longs equals long liquidation, removes selling power. We're bordering on finding acceptance in the day time frame below that weekly kickoff low, which puts us right back into this mess that we were in for 3 weeks that we were very excited to finally be leaving. We may be reaccepting that level. I'm not very excited about that myself. Weekly kickoff low is going to be pivotal. Okay, 1952, we looked below it, couldn't close below it. We're looking below it now. What's it look like on the 30-minute chart? Here's our B-shaped profile. Long liquidation right down to an important inflection level. Settlement was up here at 1959. Overnight inventory, not really. Here's where we started. Here's where we were. Here's where we are. Really just kind of teetering up and above this 52 weekly kickoff level. I'm looking forward to when the market finally picks a direction away from it, but be careful if you're using it as a pivot, like long above, short below, because it can chew us up before we get any opportunity for any decent profits. Try and stay patient. The market's below range, below value from yesterday, currently, and testing, an important inflection level. My dream location would be acceptance of value from yesterday for a move to the upper area of balance at some point during the session. Value area special situation play. I don't see it just yet, but we don't know. Not currently in the market, just waiting to see what happens. Our overnight low, overnight high are going to be interesting spots for us today. Try and stay patient, even though we've kind of opened out of balance in gold. Try and stay patient always. 6E, the euro. Volume very low. This was Easter Monday. Very low volume remains. We added 1,400 in open interest off of the weekly kickoff low yesterday, and we're seeing some potential continuation of that today. So this inflection level, rejecting price below it, or even rejecting a test down below it. We've got 2 days of balance here, and we're trying to reaccept in this 3-day of balance above that. We need help, though. We need new business to come in and to continue buying into this to show us acceptance outside of this 2-day area of balance. 30-minute chart. Settlements all the way down here. 108.13 and a half ticks. Lots of overnight longs in this market with some degree of reconciliation of all those longs. We opened down here. We're currently, looking up here and coming back off a little bit. We're still opening, have still opened with a gap. So that tells us, well, if we can't close this gap relatively early, we're looking for continuation to the upside. We have 2 days inside of a value area from, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. We've been inside the value area from Friday for 2 straight sessions. It looks like we've got a gap away from our range for the last couple of sessions. We've got a gap above the value area high from Friday. This looks like a kind of an interesting spot even to fish. I don't want to see this market come back and close the gap from yesterday, which may be a pretty substantial loss. But I think this value high over here, which remains unchecked in regular trading hours till now, is offering at least an opportunity to limit risk. You may find some fish at this level in either direction. Point being, gives you the opportunity to limit risk. I'm a huge fan, of limiting risk. As a matter of fact, I think that might be my new band name. Here's the 10-year. Another test of weekly kickoff low without the ability to close below it. 119 even is weekly kickoff low. Settlement, it was 119.03. So no close below weekly kickoff low. Open interest indicates new shorts. We added 20,000 in open interest, which isn't, a huge number for the 10-year, but still, it's pretty good on lower volume. Markets continuing to try and push lower. We had an increase in open interest on lower volume. Which one's the most important? Are we thinking maybe we've gotten a little bit too short again? Could we create maybe another bear flag and then break out down below that? Downside structure certainly still remains. I'm not trying to pick a bottom here. I would look for a pullback for a continuation of the downside, as we're all well aware rates are going higher. Let's take a look here at the 30-minute chart. So here's yesterday's range right down to and not closing below weekly kickoff low, which is 1900. This is about right. Overnight inventory is holding to the long side, but the market is coming back inside range, inside value. Try and stay patient. My dream location will be weekly kickoff level today. And again, only because it offers me the opportunity to limit risk. Limit risk. New band name. We're basically right almost back to settlement. Stay patient. Stay patient. We've got an unfinished, unclosed gap above. We've got a naked point of control above. We are at our naked point of control from yesterday. That's not going to be a factor. As far as visuals are concerned, pretty much everything is above the market. Watch and see what happens if we have an opportunity at weekly kickoff low. Nat gas. What's going on with nat gas? Uh-oh. So the swing high from November of 08. Okay, we had a big push to the upside. We closed above it yesterday. We had a big push to the downside. We've left an island top. Upside structure still remains. Are we at risk of changing that? Well, we've got a engulfing pattern at the high. We've got now a island top at the high. So we've got a couple of reversal signals that you really have to pay attention to. Now we're back down below that 736 week swing high from all the way back in of November of 08. I just can't believe that it's been that long since we've been here. Let's take a look at our island top. So what is an island top? An island top is when a regular trading hour session gaps higher at the high and the next session gaps lower and doesn't fill the gap. So this is an island top. Now we've settled back down below that important inflection level. We keep bumping up against that inflection level and finding resistance. We're in the middle of range and value. I'm going to suggest trying to stay patient, looking for a potential opportunity. Maybe a dream location would be back up towards this weekly kickoff level. I think the whole world is excited to see a reversal pattern in price in the natural gas. Might provide a wonderful opportunity for us as well. So I think the focus for traders today is to see if we can close this gap. If we can't, and if we can't close at the very least back above that weekly kickoff level, this reversal pattern it has some teeth to it. It is growling at us. It is the bear growling at us. Finding the right low entry is always about, there's the band again, the risk limiters. So we've got our challenges set out for us today in these markets. As if we don't always have challenges set out for us in these markets. All right. So Devon, I think we've kind of got our answer. Yeah, there was a P shape in the S&P and a late buying spike. So be paying attention to those levels we discussed. Sarah asking questions of Tachyon E-minis. 11 contracts. 11 contracts. Tachyon likes to trade big and fast. He's a high roller. But Tachyon, don't stop coming to Make Hogue Money. We love your ideas. Don't be afraid to chime in and talk to us. As a matter of fact, don't anybody be afraid to come in and talk to us. It seems like one of the things that I see struggling in Make Hogue Money is people don't want to hear their own voice. They don't want to talk. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong on tomorrow. We can get a few people talking. We can now share charts. We have a polling system where we can, I think, pretty quickly decide if we want to take a trade or not. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Tachyon, we're always still learning. We're always still learning. 10 contracts is no joke in these accounts, that's for sure. But he's a pretty short time frame. He's good risk limiter, and even with 11 contracts on. Nicholas wants to play drums for the risk limiters. Michael, I think he's saying 11 contracts at the same time. It's a little rich for me, but I'm looking for bigger bites. Excellent trading research. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, so let's call this a forecast. Take your deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, and creative today. Looking forward to seeing everybody at group coaching. And back for the market recap. Let's see how these markets played out for us. Always fun, always a pleasure to be with you. And keep praying for peace. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Get out there and profit today. Trade well. I'll see you in the proverbial pit in about 2 minutes. Have a great trading day.